Fear is the most primal emotion. You feel it every time you're about to take a risk, step out of your comfort zone, or even consider the possibility of failure. Fear wraps itself around your decisions, making you hesitate, second guess, and sometimes paralyze you entirely. The invisible chain keeps you tied to the familiar, even when you know that comfort is holding you back from the life you want. But here's the thing, fear is not the enemy. You've likely been taught to see fear as something to avoid. We're conditioned to believe that fear is a signal to turn back, to protect ourselves from the danger that lies ahead. Every time you feel fear, it's because you're standing on the edge of something new. You're staring into the unknown, a place where the outcome isn't guaranteed, where you might fail, be rejected, or discover parts of yourself that you've kept hidden for too long. And that's scary. But fear isn't the problem. Your relationship with fear is. You've spent so much time avoiding fear that you've missed the point. Fear isn't a stop sign. It's a sign that you're about to do something that matters. The fear you feel when you think about starting that new job, leaving that toxic relationship, or pursuing that dream isn't there to keep you from acting. It's there to tell you that you're about to grow. The truth is that fear will always be a part of your journey. It's not something you conquer once and leave behind. It will be there every time you face the unknown, every time you reach for something greater. But instead of letting fear hold you back, you can learn to carry it with you. You can acknowledge it, feel it thoroughly, and still choose to move forward. Here's where the shift begins. Rather than seeing fear as a chain holding you down, you start to see it as a signal that you're on the right path. Think about the last time fear stopped you in your tracks. Maybe you had an opportunity, something you wanted to go after, but fear crept in. Your mind was flooded with thoughts like, what if I'm not good enough? Or what if I fail? So you didn't leap. You convinced yourself it was safer to stay where you were, in the comfort of the known. But what happened after? Did that decision leave you feeling fulfilled or more stuck than ever? That's the funny thing about fear. The more you avoid it, the stronger it becomes. Each time you choose to stay within the boundaries of what's safe, those chains grow tighter. They reinforce the story that you're not ready, incapable, or worthy. But the only way to break those chains is to take action despite the fear. Fear will always show up when you're standing at the edge, looking into the unknown. It's part of being human. But here's the empowering truth. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means acting despite it. Every person you admire and who has achieved something extraordinary has felt fear just like you. They've stood on the same edge of uncertainty. The difference is they didn't let the fear stop them. They felt it, acknowledged it, and moved forward anyway. And every time they did, those chains got a little weaker. You can do the same. Think about something you've wanted to do, but fear has kept you from pursuing it. Maybe it's a new career path, a passion project, or a relationship you've been afraid to start or end. That fear you're feeling, it's not a sign to stop. It's a sign that this is essential and will lead to your growth. Let's take a moment to get honest about what fear is. Fear is your mind's way of protecting you from perceived danger. Your brain's survival mechanism keeps you safe from the unknown. But in today's world, Fear doesn't just warn us of physical threats, it also tries to protect us from emotional discomfort. It tells us to avoid failure, rejection, and vulnerability, even when those things lead to growth and fulfillment. The problem is that fear doesn't distinguish between real and perceived danger. So, your job is to recognize when fear is trying to protect you from something that isn't dangerous but uncomfortable. And here's where the magic happens. The more you lean into that discomfort, the more you expand your capacity for growth. If you're going to unlock your potential and live the life you know you're capable of, you must stop letting fear make your decisions. Instead, you start making decisions based on what you want, not what you're afraid of. And when fear shows up, and it will, you welcome it. You see it as a sign that you're pushing your limits, growing, and on the edge of something meaningful. Here's an exercise to try the next time fear grips you. Stop and take a breath when you feel fear rising. Ask yourself, what is this fear trying to protect me from? Then ask, is this a real danger? Or is this just discomfort? If it's the latter, acknowledge the fear, thank it for trying to keep you safe, and then move forward anyway. Fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to be in control. You are capable of more than you think. And fear, as uncomfortable as it is a sign that you're on the path to discovering just how capable you are. The chains of fear will always try to pull you back. But the moment you decide to act despite fear and step into the unknown despite the uncertainty, those chains start to loosen. And with each step you take, you begin to realize that fear isn't something to run from. It's something to walk with, hand in hand, as you move toward the life you truly want. The unknown is where your growth lies. Fear is simply the price of admission. Will you let fear keep you in chains, or will you break free and face the unknown? The choice is yours.